Alright, Saber people, these kind of videos are fun. I like to do this. Well, this is a Dooku Shoto, which I don't know if I've ever seen one of these before. I had a customer, David, come to me with a very cool concept. What happened to the Saber after the crash in episode 3? Good question. I imagine it got pretty jacked up. And so he had this Saber Forged Dooku that was already pretty beat up. He bought it from somebody else. It had all kinds of things wrong with it. Missing set screws that had been re-drilled bigger for whatever reason, probably because they got stripped out. And it was just scratched up, scuffed up, and beat up to begin with. The brass here wasn't brass. It was all silver. All the anodization was gone. The pommel, the original pommel, was pretty clean. This piece, and this piece. That's pretty much all there was. This piece didn't clock right onto this. This piece also didn't clock right onto the hilt. It looked all screwed up and wonky. There was no brass pieces on this, no cover tech on this. I did the brass pieces. I machined those. I did the cover tech. I put that on. I had one from my collection. The rubber comes from my Watto's Dooku that I had. I had some leftover rubber, so I was able to do that. And then this here, I actually ripped apart a toggle switch and kind of made this and shaped it the best way I could to make it look like the Dooku button. And it's actually held in with a set screw as well, and it's also glued down. And then this little piece here is actually kind of fitting. It's a piece from a Saber, or from a prequel hilt. And so without further ado, this is the Shoto pommel. Now, I actually had to machine the Shoto pommel down as well, the inside of it, and this one, to fit the chassis. The chassis comes from CWS off of Etsy, and it's just a basic Saber Forge chassis. But it's right here. This is pretty much it. You can see I got my 12mm KR pixel switch. That was already pre-machined in there, so I pretty much have this space to put the chassis in. And there's a white Profi V2, an 18650 removable, 22mm speaker, 4 3 watt from, I believe, from Saber Bay. And then there is the USB-C port. This is actually, you can actually undo this with your fingers, this little set screw here. And then on this side, I added, this wasn't here, I machined this and drilled this into the chassis. There's a USB-C port right there. Underneath that, there is a charging module that is wired to, and then the kill switch over here. And like I said, put that in, just make sure that it's lined up, the fin lines up with that. Lock the chassis down so it doesn't move. Kind of old school, but it's an old school hilt. And it works really well. Pretty loud. So we've got the Shoto. And the KR has its own independent programming, so it will continuously kind of glow on and off like this while the Saber is on. Why not? I got the shine through there on the hilt. Like I said, I beat this thing up. I weathered it pretty good. Because it's supposed to look like it went through a crash. And I'll also go ahead, because he didn't really care about the original pommel in the first place. He was just interested in making it a Shoto. After I did this, he changed his mind, and he likes them both, and so do I. This came out pretty good for what it is. And sounds almost just as good. It's got a little more travel for the sound, because the sound has to go through this whole piece instead of just out here. But, yeah. Overall, it was a fun build. a challenging build, to say the least, and a fun install. I enjoyed doing it. I enjoy the concept, and I'm looking forward to the next one like this. So, David, your Dooku is done. There you go. Thank you for watching. Very much appreciated. Everyone have a nice day.